The Mara River begins in Narok County and with Mau Forest being its source, stretching all the way to Tanzania. Understanding the importance of this river, both to the communities living near the river together with their livestock, wildlife, as well as agriculture, calls have been made to conserve and restore the river. Among those who've taken the initiative are conservancies around the Mara, including Oloisukut Conservancy.
Our core business here is Oloisukut is about three things. One is livestock, people, and wildlife. So anytime you think about Oloisukut Conservancy, three things should come into your mind: people, livestock, and wildlife. So we are looking at how possibly do we manage the three as one, so that they live in peace, or they live in harmony.
Established in 2006 with 109 members, the 23,000 acres conservancy has, among others, contributed to protecting wildlife from poaching as well as livestock for farmers.
We have a number of projects that we run as a conservancy. We have a livestock program. Basically, Maasai's community, if you talk about a Maasai, there is no way you talk about Maasai without talking about livestock. So simply as a conservancy, we thought as a way of improving the livelihoods of communities, we need to do a livestock project.
People are working together to find solutions to try to build these processes. And I think that's what makes Oloisukut such a unique model and such an exciting model, is the way that it's being dynamic, it's developing things, it's varying different enterprises, all to maximize returns, but that we've got visionary leadership who have seen the opportunity, who have taken the risk, because it is a bold risk for landowners to take and to go under this process, and they can see the returns going on. Now what we just need is a couple of good tourism years, a couple of good climate years to let everything settle and continue on the growth that they've been going through over that.
David Kananta, Oloisukut Conservancy manager, says the conservancy also provides beehives for its members, specifically women, despite the erratic weather patterns.
We have 50 hives, modern Lancelot hives. Okay, we've done the first harvest 3 months ago, and colonization of the hives has not been very good. Okay, because as all you know is that beekeeping, it depends on the weather. Okay, it's weather dependent. Okay, so we've not had a good colonization. We've only had 12 hives being colonized out of the 50.
Beekeeping is a source of livelihood, and also when a farmer adopts beekeeping, they will do less tillage in their farms. Thus, and also there will be less cutting down of trees, because they want to have a forest for bees to get the pollen and nectar. And also, bees actually helps in pollination.
Just set the 50 hives in a single apiary. Okay, we've not ventured into perhaps using the beehives or the bees as fences to prevent human-wildlife conflict.
Nolkireu Enole is among women who ventured into beekeeping and could not be happier.
So
the project has given them a voice as women, because now they are being recognized in the entire community that they own this project. A kilo of raw honey is sold at approximately 400 to 500 shillings, and they are still struggling maybe to do the processing of honey into maybe fine and also packaging for them to get more benefit from the project. But for now they sell a kilo or a kg at 400 shillings.
The 60-year-old widow says the conservancy has also equipped them with knowledge to handle bees and harvesting honey. However, Enole laments about the climate change, which affects honey production, which they solely depend on.
There are problems of climate change in terms of flowering of plants. So basically the beehives were not able to be colonized in time because of things like rainfall patterns has not been favorable for them, and hence the flowering season is not as normal. They have coexisted with wildlife since time immemorial, and hence they are not able to venture into other income generating activities like agriculture, because the wildlife are just within the homesteads. So basically they may cause more harm and they may not get any yield or harvest.
That one has affected the rain patterns. Months that you always expect rain, it doesn't rain anymore. Okay, so the pattern has changed. So I think there is also confusion in terms of the bees also doing plants also flowering of plants. So I think the whole aspect is affected.
Despite the challenges brought about by erratic weather and encroachment of the Mau forest, which affects the River Mara, the locals are hopeful that things will change.
In fact, the small pools that were there, even our cows will not drink. Okay, so the relationship between ourselves and the Mau forest is so clear that if we don't have this river, and then we also done. Okay, so for us, Mara River is the lifeline. If we don't have it, we are done ourselves, because our livestock, our people, our wildlife depend on it for survival. Much as some of it has been lost through deforestation and settlement, but we believe something can still be done. Okay, and that is why we are slowly engaging community in Nolkireu to come up with a conservancy, so that we rescue what is there and also try to restore what has been lost.
One of the other points is, with some of the destruction in the forest that's happened behind, and what happens in the Mara system, we do have fires, and that also has a huge influence, because as we know, when you want to calm bees down, what do? You put smoke underneath it. If there are big fires coming up here, it keeps that happening, which also affects the honey production.
Winnie Lubembe for Mesha.